Okay. Hello, everyone. We are on. Hello to a new High Masterclass, this time for the part two of Mastering Digital Accessibility. This time, Natali, as a complement to the previous High Masterclass, Masterclass number 48, that I will advise all of you to go and watch it. It was fantastic, and this will also be fantastic. So, hi, Natali, how are you? Are you
Hello.
ready? This presentation on to the part two of mastering digital accessibility.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Okay, and I'm sure that the ones at home are really buzzing to watch all that you have to say about this high masterclass. But before we start, let me just ask, as I do always to the ones at home, that drop us a like, follow our YouTube channel. We have plenty of more content like this coming up for you, so stay tuned for that. We are not stopping in August. We are coming in again with more content for you. And yeah, let's start it. Regarding this high masterclass, let me just say that Natalie has wrote an article about this. You can scan it on this QR code over here, and it is like a full guide for this presentation that Natalie is about to make. So, without further to add, hi Natalie, let's go, let's do it. Let me just ask you one more thing. Like,
Okay.
what feel like it's? Why are we doing a part two on this? Why is it so important to do this part two? And
Because in the accessibility has a lot of content, a lot of areas of interest that we can focus on these master classes, and I didn't want to put everything in a really long master class, and I think it was important to divide it into two phases because it has a lot of questions regarding the guidelines. The European Accessibility Act, all the laws that we need to be compliant with. And in this phase, we are focused on the tools and a kind of framework that we can use, different tools, different resources to help us to follow those guidelines, those laws that we explained in the beginning, in the first masterclass. So we divided into the more theoretical part that is really important, the why, and well, this will be the how you can do it.
okay, so let's see how we can do it.
Okay, so let's go. Actually, I want to start with a question for you, João.
Okay.
In our first masterclass about accessibility on the part one, what do you think for you was the most important, relevant part that you hear here in this masterclass? Do you remember? Do you recall something that you kept in mind that says, "So, wow, this is really important"?
Okay, let's see. Like, I think that, for example, the part where you talked about the SEO and so, because it's like a thing that it's more important to my job.
Okay,
Uh,
really. What do you do? Okay.
okay, and like the European Accessibility Act, that was
Mm.
also important. And yeah, that's what I recall the most about the last time masterclass.
Okay.
I don't know if it is important or not. Like that's the
Oh,
things that I remember from last month that were the most
it's really
important for
important
me.
because this year the last month is starting to become a law that is different in different countries for a broader range of kinds of sites and platforms. So it
Yeah.
is really important.
Okay.
Um, okay, so as João said last in our first session, we explore the why. behind the accessibility. We looked of what accessibility really means in digital context, why it's essential for inclusive design, and how it aligns with legal, ethical, and business priorities. So the part of business priorities was really important as well. We also went through the core principles of accessibility design and how they impact real people lives. So as João said, if you miss it, you can go to see the entire session in our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. So in our YouTube channel and in the article in our site as well. Today, we will be shifting from the theory to the action. So in this second part, the focus is on implementation step by step. We will dive into how you can actually start making digital products accessible and practical in a structured way. So here's will be our roadmap for today, João. We will start with the accessibility audit, so the essential first step to identify barriers and set priorities. Then we will cover evaluation activities that help you gather evidence and feedback. We will move on into planning and development, so looking into how accessibility requirements are embedded into your team process. And finally, we will talk about continuous testing and validation, because accessibility isn't a one-step task. It's an ongoing commitment. So, and as João said, again, we have this available for you in our YouTube and the article in our blog channel, in our site. So let's start it with the first step, so the accessibility audit. Every accessibility journey should begin with this kind of assessment. This is where we assess how well your product or services align with the WCAG 2.1, and in this case, probably we will have the 2.2 guidelines to follow. So looking at things like color contrast, keyboard navigation, screen reader support, and more. So the goal is to identify existing accessibility barriers, both technical and design related, and then to help you prioritize them on taking into consideration their impact on users. So this will give you a clear, actionable starting point and helps you build a roadmap for improvement. So how can you do that? First example, we will show here examples of several tools and resources. I'm sure there's a lot of other examples of tool or resources that we can use. So those are just examples that we want to share with us, but there's a lot more. In this example, this is the Access Monitor, is a Portuguese governmental tool that we talked about this actually in one of our high talks with Professor Carlos. So you can go and see more detail about this specific tool. But in this example here, we can add a link for a specific page that we want to evaluate. And very quickly, it will give you a list of issues or all the guidelines in an automated way that show things that are acceptable, that are okay, things that you need to correct. And even here, you already have a kind of priority to help you decide which ones you need to fix earlier in your process. So this is a very quick way for you to help you evaluate how you can start fixing your problems to be compliant with accessibility. Another example that I have here is the plugin for Figma. I can show here an example, the Start plugin. So imagine I am in Figma and I can select a specific component to confirm if the contrast is okay or not, or if I need to do some fixing on this one. I can open my Stark plugin. In this case, I will just check for contrast, but you can check for the size of your typography, the area of touchscreen that you need to have in your specific screen that you are designing. In this case, I am going to just check my contrast. And if you see in here, I am failing all of the contrasts that I have. So explaining a little bit about this AA, AAA that we have here. When we talk about accessibility standards, we often refer to WCAG 2.1, which defines 3 levels of conformance: A, AA, and AAA. Here's a simple way to think about them. Level A is a minimum, so it addresses the most basic accessibility requirements, things that, if not met, make your content completely unusable for many people with disability. It's the baseline, but it's not enough for most products. So you never will be compliant just with an A level. Level AA is a recommended standard for most organizations. It covers everything in level A, plus additional criteria that significantly improves usability and accessibility for a wider range of users, including people with low vision, cognitive impairments, and motor disabilities, for example. And most legal requirement, as we talked in our first masterclass about this topic, including the European Accessibility Act, point to the level AA as the target to be compliant. And then we have level AAA. It's the most advanced level. It includes the strictest guidelines, such as very high color contrast. As you see in this example, the number is really high to be compliant, the contrast that you need to have. However, not all the AA criteria are achievable for every type of content, which is why it's usually seen as the best practice or goal for specific components, not an entire website. So if you are able to, you should aim to AA. Another thing, let me just go back to my presentation here, sorry. So another thing about contrasts. We have this APCA, which stands for Advanced Perceptual Contrast Algorithm, and this is a relative new and more sophisticated way of calculating contrast between text and background colors, especially when compared with the traditional WCAG contrast ratio formula that many of us use right now. So this algorithm has been studied and developed with the goal of a better reflecting how humans actually perceive contrast. So taking into account things like font weight, so not just color, size, polarity, light test or dark versus dark on light, and even the nature of the colors that we are using. So what is important to highlight in here is that this APCA offers a more accurate results, especially when dealing with the pure colors or high saturation backgrounds, which often cause issues with the older contrast formulas. So it allows to make us a better informed decision when designing for readability, for legibility, helping to ensure that everyone, including people with low vision or contrast sensitivity, can read content in a comfortable way. Okay, another example that I want to share with you is another kit from Figma. So in this example, actually this kit right here that I am showing from Marcelo Paiva and Sarah Messingel. Sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. but this will help you to audit. Imagine that you are starting, you don't have a developed already site yet, but you have screens on Figma, or you have a design system that you need to guarantee to be compliant, and we need to identify what issues it have at the moment. So you can use things like this to help you identify, take notes of what need to be adjusted. In this case, you can use this template, put your component, add your notes. So this is before accessibility specialists come here and add notes. And in this example, you already identify several problems that need to be corrected. And this could be an easy way to give this to the development team to help them identify and create a priority list of what need to be correct, or the design team, depends on the phase of the project, of course. Other thing to share in here is this WAGEC plugin. In this case, are several here already identified, but if you are starting, you can use this plugin to help the team identify, imagine that as I was showing before, this component here doesn't have the contracts that should have on the colors. They need to be changed. You can give specific rules, or leave specific content about the guideline from WCIG that the team needs to follow. So you can use this WCIG plugin. You can search in here the number of the guideline that you want to add. Oh, it's not this one, sorry, 3. Okay, search. And it will show you the cards with all the links, with the specific guidelines, the specific contrast radio that you need to follow. And you can add your card in here and leave all the information in here to the team that are going to pick up this specific part of the component that will need to adjust it, and you have everything documented. And another example that I want to share with you as well is this Wave plugin that you can use in your Chrome. I'm going to remove it so you can see it. So this is the page of the article that we have in our site, and I can use this plugin to have a review of all the issues that I have in this specific page in a very quick way, using this Wave evaluation tool extensions as well. So it will show me, have a summary of all the errors that I have that I need to correct, with the icons that I can relate it in here, in a specific place that they are, so I don't need to go and look for them. Okay, here the details grouped by the alerts, the errors, the features, what is structure elements. Other really interesting thing that you can see in here, that it's important to test in a screen reader as well. You can see how a screen reader, the order that a screen reader are going to use to read your page, and if it's correct or not. Other really important one is to identify if you have a semantic structure HTML in your site, so you can view in here how it's organized, and in here you have your contrast as well. As you can see, it not identify any specific contrast problem. However, it says that to better identify all the issues that I have and to guarantee that I am compliant, it not dispense, or it's really important that we do our manual tests to identify any other potential contrasts as well. Okay, so this is what I have to share with you for the first step. And other thing is when we are evaluating accessibility, it's important to combine different types of tool and approaches. So I show you different examples. We can start with automated validators like Access Monitor or Contrast Checker. These are great for catching common issues very quickly, especially related to the structure, the content, and the semantic HTML. Next, we can go and use and learn with the documentation from other companies like Adobe, ABM, or Google. These often provide accessibility guidelines tailored to their platforms and their tools, their technologies that they are using, so are very useful when working with specific ecosystems. So we should also take advantage of those development tools that support accessibility, like browser dev tools or some plugins that I show you in these examples. But however, manual validation still essential. So automated tools can only detect a portion of our issues, especially when it comes to keyboard navigation, screen reader behaviors, or logic content orders. So those parts are really important for the users to be able to complete a specific task, like make a payment, buy something online. So as an example, I want to highlight this accessibility.gov.pt. It's a governmental platform as well that offers a great list of recommended tools, both automatic and manual, to guide our audits and our evaluations. And so moving to the second step, to truly make digital products work for everyone, we need to treat accessibility as an ongoing structured process. So as we talked, not a one-time task. It all starts with accessibility audit, and this is our baseline. So it helps you identify barriers in your content, product, and prioritize what you need to be addressed. From there, we move into evaluation activities. In this is where things get more hands-on and more collaborative. There are several types of evaluations that we can or should combine. Expert heuristic reviews, where accessibility specialists analyze the interface based on best practices. Usability testing, so ideally including with users with disability to observe real world challenges. And automated test tools, the examples that I showed you before, that are helpful for identify obvious code level issues. So and well, the most importantly, manual reviews. So these are essential to catch things that machines can identify, like keyboard navigations, meaningful focus order, things like that I explained before. So the message here is clear: automated helps, but it's not enough. We need to do our manual validation. In this case, I have this example as well in here. This is an Excel checklist that you can look for in the accessibility.gov.pt. Is a Portuguese governmental tool and site as well. And they have several lists of guidelines that you can follow and identify if you are compliant or not, or it is something that it's not applicable at all. In this case, this example in here, you can see the detail of each guideline, and you can add here the evidence that you are compliant or not, or take notes of what steps that you need to take to be compliant with this specific guideline. And this is something that you can share with your team, or use it to gain your medals. In this specific case, that from accessibility.gov.pt, you can use this to let me show you here an example. a gold medal for accessibility and usability seal that the government provide you if you are compliant of all those steps and you follow all those steps that they have. Another example, or in this case, a resource that you can use is from W3C. 3C that will help you with usability tests with users with accessibility with some disability. Oh, sorry. In this case, in this example here, I want to highlight in this link. It has a checklist as well to help you create your test guidelines, your test tasks, and say what are the main problems that you need to check when you are testing with users with disability. So I can open in here. For example, you need to check your page title, if it's there, if all the images have alternative text, if the platform has an integration with the keyboard access and visual focus, like forms, labels, if I can use my keyboard to access all of those inputs that I need. So you have here an easy way to help you create your guide or to help you understand what you need to be aware of when doing those tests. Okay, more resources and tools for each step. Okay, third step. After evaluation, the next critical phase is planning and development. So here we can move from identifying problems to actually fixing them. So you can start by prioritizing our issues based on their impact, especially those that block users from completing key tasks or affect users with disability most directly. That's why it's important to do the usability tests with users with disabilities. So make accessibility part of your everyday workflow. So write user stories with the accessibility in mind. For example, as a keyboard-only user, I need to navigate the menu so I can access all sessions of the site. In your design tools, document accessibility annotation. So the examples that I show you in Figma, actually that I'm going to show you next, the one was for accessibility audit, sorry. So this might include text alternative for images, expected focus orders, or guidings or on color contrast. And finally, during the development, implement the fixes and improvements as a part of your regular sprint cycle. Like accessibility shouldn't be an add-on, should be part of the definition of them. Okay, let's move on to some examples. So here is from Figma, is a kit exemplifying okay, this one is a kit exemplifying in specific parts of a site how you can add annotations to help the development team understand what you want on this part of the experience, like when you have links, how should be the experience in this part, when you have buttons, how you should inform the users about those specific buttons, and you have here the links for the guidelines as well. The information about the different status of the buttons, how an error on a label should behave, and what should be the message that I have in specific errors. So this part is really important to give context to help users understand what is happening. If, for example, I am not seeing what is happening in the page, how I identify my icons, what are they specific for. So we can use those kinds of kits on Figma to help us identify your design and add accessibility annotation on our designs. Other important part of this step is the implementation, using semantic elements in HTML, that are tags that carry meaning about the structure and content of a web page. So unlike non-semantic elements like divs and spam, which provide no information about their content. So if I have a page let me show you here my image in the presentation. Okay, this is what I was talking about. In this case, if I am using a screen reader, I will only read div. So I don't know in which part of the site I am. So in this case, it's about their content, semantic elements that contribute to the document's clarity and help both browsers, developers, and users understand the purpose of each section. So the role of a semantic elements, like the example here, header, nav, main, they bring clarity and readability. So they enhance the readability of HTML code by expressing the structure of the document in a more human and readable way. For instance, this example, my header, my main area, my footer, those are elements that clearly defines the different sections of the web page. So this and other thing that João actually talked in the beginning, my search engine, it will help with my search engine optimization. So use semantic information to better understand the content and the context of a web page. So if it is properly structured, the content using in semantic elements can positively impact our website for our search engine optimization as well. Another example in here to help us understand the order that I am structuring, if it's looking okay, if it will be a good example as well, is this dev tool. Where is my example? This one. Can show you in here. So my web developer extension. In this case, I disable all styles. So if I do that, I should still be viewing my website in an order that makes sense, and I can still understand what is happening. So if I enable my styles, so I have this experience, I can understand. But if I disable, I should have the same experience and order of the content, and I still should perceive the structure that I have on my site. My main menu, my image, my content should be easy to look for this information in logic order as well. Okay, going back to the presentation. In here, I have the same example of checklists that make all the evidence for each guideline, in this case for the accessibility.gov.pt site, where they make the evidence for each guideline of how they were compliant with in this specific topic, the menus and the navigation. Here another resource, this is in Portuguese. The main advantage of this specific example, we will share this link on our article as well, is they created a list of all the guidelines from WCAG 2.2 in a clear, plain Portuguese language. In this case, if you go to look in the site, most of the time the language is very hard to understand, and we always have a hard time to understand if I am doing it right, if I am correcting it right. And they did this, this is from experience, and they did this job to write it down, every guideline for each principle for the 4 principles in a clear, plain, in this case Portuguese, to help people understand. And he used it in their validations and their workday to be accessible, compliant. Okay. This is another example for a checklist of the guidelines from Brazil. I added this example to show you that if you are creating a site, you need to, or platform, or an app, you need to take in consideration where it's going to be used, because different countries, the idea is that guidelines are a standard all wide world, but each country sometimes have different laws, different guidelines, so you need to guarantee that you are following all the guidelines for that specific country that your site are going to be used. And you need to look in different countries. Probably they will have a checklist, they will have information about this, resources. So that's why I put this example in here. And as I talked at the beginning, we have this documentation that each companies offers with the comprehensive accessibility documentation and resources. In this example, you have IBM. This includes guidelines, tools, information on how to make content accessible, as well as features to build into ABM products. I guess I have the link here, so you have this all these details, the current version, what is the standard that they are compliance at the moment. So this is really important because you can already identify and see if you are going to use their documentation. You already have in here information of what they are compliance with. And you can see in here each information about the guidelines. You can go and look for the detail, see in more detail. Most of them that have the link for the WCAG guideline, because it's the baseline that we need to follow. Okay, moving on to the fourth step, so the integration into the product life cycle. Once accessibility is part of your planning and development, the next step is the integration. This means making accessibility a natural part of how we design, build, and maintain our products, not just a checkpoint at the end. So there are 3 key practices here. The first one is embed accessibility early during our design and development phases. Second is use technologies that support assistive tools and user agents like screen readers, voice control, and keyboard navigation. So this is important to guarantee an inclusive experience. And the third is always provide fallback solutions when for some reason you are not able to fully be accessible, or the accessibility can be achieved. For example, if a complex component doesn't work well with an assistive technology, probably try to find one component that answers to that, or give an alternative. I have here a specific video, an example that show you on a touchscreen that only an example that the only way on a touchscreen for screen reader users to know whether they have tapped the correct key is by hearing the letter spoken out loud by the screen reader. So that's why testing with these technologies like keyboard voiceover, it's important to understand how it's actually going to be the experience if we need to do some changes to improve those parts. I have here the the source. So it's an article from Nelson Norman Group about how a screen reader uses and control in mobile devices, because we have different tools to use for desktop and for mobile devices as well to test those kind of things. I will put a little bit of the video. I don't know, Jean, can you confirm here?
So now we can't hear it.
We
No.
can?
No.
Okay, that's okay, no problem. I will share this on our article, and you can see this example. But to sum up, it shows how I am going to hear the experience by tapping, because I am not viewing what is going to happen. So it's an example of how is the reality in these specific cases. Other two links that we add in our article as well is this one, the ultimate digital accessibility testing tool. So for your ongoing process on development, to guarantee that this is the automatic evaluation for your ongoing development, to guarantee that you have all the guidelines if you are adding new features, new if you are updating something, you have a list of checks that you need to do, and we have this information that we can use. We have this example as well available on GitHub with the list of checks that help you to test in a more faster way. Okay, moving on. The last step that we have here on our presentation, the continuous testing and validation. So accessibility isn't something you check once and forget. It requires an ongoing attention as your product evolves. So run regular accessibility tests, especially when new features are added or major updates are made. Reassess after implementing improvements to confirm that fixes are actually work and didn't introduce new issues. That's why those examples that... sorry. Let me move on to my presentation. Okay. Now, okay, that's why the examples that I was showing before from GitHub, for example, would be helpful as well for your ongoing tests. And don't forget your content adding tools, whether it's a CMS or a back-office system. Those tools should also be accessible so that all team members, including those with disabilities, can contribute and manage content independently. Just a last example. This is the Lighthouse tool that you can use. I guess is this one. Yeah. So you can, if you go to here, inspect your information, it will open this screen separately or in the same window if you prefer. But in here you can run a test and it will say very quickly, and you can do your ongoing tests in here as well to help you understand how you are performing. Even with accessibility, it will very quickly identify what you need to improve in this case as well. Okay, then finally, this is just a checklist to help you keep accessibility truly sustainable. So we need to embed it into our long-term workflow. This checklist helps to ensure the validation isn't just a one-time task, but a regular habit across teams, like run automated scans after every release, schedule quarterly manual audits or accessibility check-ins, test with real users, monitor accessibility metrics to see how you are performing, if you are achieving your goals, document and accessibility guidelines up to date, like we saw the example of the EBM, that they show you which are the standards that are following and the updates of the documentation that they have, retest existing features, subscribe and guarantee that you are update to the guidelines from WCAG, all the norms, all the legal requirements, and encourage team to a wide ownership of the accessibility. This is something that you can see on our article as well to use it later. Okay, to finish, well, we have all these steps, all these frameworks, all these resources and tools. Who should be responsible? Who should be used? Who should be talked about it? So we have on the internal team side, it's essential to build cross-functional awareness and capability. Everyone from the UX and development to product and leadership needs to understand their role and making digital products accessible. So it's not just a designer job, it's a developer's job, it's a shared responsibility. And at the same time, we need to actively involve users with disability. So they bring real-world insight to that no guideline or automated tool can replicate. We saw some examples of that. And real user testing is critical for validating whether our solution truly works for everyone. So in short, empower your team with knowledge and responsibility, and include the community in a meaningful way. And other ways to do that is with training and awareness. So building an accessibility product that starts with the building an accessibility mindset across your team. So that means providing continuous training on accessibility principles, so not just one-time session, but ongoing learning to keep everyone up to date. And it's also important to raise awareness about why inclusive design matters, like we talked about in our first masterclass about this topic. And teams should be educated on different types of disabilities, on how to communicate inclusively, and this will help foster empathy and understanding, which is key to achieve a good design. So finally, to finish this presentation, it's not a one-thing task, it's an ongoing maintenance, so it's a continuous improvement. And one last example of how you can document that you are and show that you are worried and that you care about inclusivity and about accessibility. You can regular monitoring and have ongoing feedback, and you can also publish your efforts in accessibility statement. So this publicly communicates your commitment, outlines your compliance level, and show users that accessibility is a priority for your organization. In here, you have this example as well. Let me see where I have it. This one. So this is the page for the accessibility declaration for the accessibility.gov.pt, where they explain what are they compliance with, what were the tasks that they did, and they added here all the evidence of how they achieve their compliance and their accessibility on their platform. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you collected a lot of information. I sure learned a lot, and during these two master classes, I discovered other tools, other resources. So it was really hard to define what to show in here, or just what to show in here in these two master classes, because there's a lot of content, a lot of information that we can use. So if you have any other suggestions of resources, tools that you use that you want to share, please feel free. I would love to learn more and discover more about it. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so and thank you, Natalie, for your great presentation. Speaking about that, can you go back to the presentation so I can
Yes.
finish this off? Okay, so as Natalie was saying, and let me just complement it, like all the tools that she shared that she shared today with us are available on the blog article on our website. So the blog article that Natalie wrote, there you will have all the tools that she talked about. And yeah, if you have more tools or more tips or something to say about this masterclass, please share it with us. We would be more than happy to check it. And
Yeah.
if you have any type of question, please drop them on the comment section of this video, and me or Natalie or anyone at Interactive that sees the question will answer you straight away. So yeah, with that said, thanks for these two high master classes, Natalie, and thanks to the ones at home that stood by till the end and watched the two high master classes. And stay tuned for more. Hopefully, Natalie will be back with us soon on another high master class or another content here at our YouTube channel. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Stay safe, take care, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.